Episode 9 is set to introduce tons of new twists and turns as well as surprises by writer and director JJ Abrams and Chris Terrio. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, we do know that this movie is going to actually have a lot of surprises in this film in order to shock the audience, and is a great way to close the Skywalker saga and the sequel trilogy itself. Now, this movie really does have a lot of things going for it. It has been said that it's going to have the most characters out of every single Star Wars movie to date, which is honestly concerning a lot of people out there, including myself, on whether or not this movie is going to be too crowded. Now, these past couple of months or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film when it comes to some of the set leaks, the set designs, the concept art and storyboard descriptions, etc., one of which has all to do with one of the characters that is a major hint and or indicator of him being Ezra Bridger. Specifically, a description of a character codenamed EB, with long black hair and a black beard and blue eyes, standing next to both Maz Kanata and another pirate holding a blaster rifle. The EB character wears a similar green outfit to what Ezra sported in Star Wars Rebels, and on his belt appears to be a lightsaber hilt. The next goes over the EB character, who appears to be in his mid-50s, fighting against a group of stormtroopers with his two blasters. Another gives glimpses of the EB character hopping into a turret and shooting down incoming TIE fighters that are shooting at a resistance base. Both Finn and Poe Dameron are behind him with rifles as he shoots in the turret. So I really want to go over a couple of parts about this that really do pique my interest when it comes to all of the different cameos that are actually going to be making their way in this movie that will connect, that will have like a big connection to either Rebels, the Clone Wars, or other forms of the Disney canon within the Star Wars universe. Now, the top reason I believe as to why this is most likely Ezra Bridger is because the character is codenamed EB. In my point of view, that has got to stand for Ezra Bridger himself. The other thing here is the mention of the long, black, wavy hair, the blue eyes, and as well as a beard, and him being in his mid-50s. Now, given that I think Ezra Bridger was born just around the same time as Luke Skywalker, and if you guys actually do the research, Luke Skywalker in The Force Awakens, I believe, is at the age of 54 to 56. So that would definitely fit the profile here for Ezra Bridger being in his mid-50s in Star Wars Episode 9. Now, of course, if he's in his mid-50s, he's probably not going to be doing backflips everywhere and doing all these crazy stunts, of course. But it seems as so that he will have actions somewhat similar to what Han Solo had in The Force Awakens. Using the rifles and whatnot, and dodging blasts here and there, and running away from certain objects or people. So Ezra Bridger, alright, this is a huge question for sure. Is it a good idea to incorporate a Star Wars Rebels character into Star Wars Episode 9, into a main trilogy movie? Now, mind you, they did this with Rogue One, A Star Wars Story. They gave us an older version of Saw Gerrera. Now, Saw in the Clone Wars was his younger self, and then in Rogue One we got his older self. So we got to see two different versions of the character, and the live-action form of that character was far older than how he ever was. It seems as so that JJ Abrams and crew are actually toying around with the idea of doing the same exact thing here with Star Wars Episode 9. It's just a matter of whether or not this is a risk of implementing a Star Wars Rebels character into a main trilogy movie. Now, I can totally see, this happening for a spin-off film, like, let's say, for example, like a Rogue One, A Star Wars Story sequel, or some kind of movie like that that's based on war. I could absolutely see them incorporating a lot of Star Wars Rebels characters that way. But as for a main Skywalker saga film, it is a little bit tricky, and I can totally understand why some people would be concerned about an animated character entering into a live-action form in a Star Wars movie within the Skywalker saga, the last one no less. So I think what JJ and Chris are really trying to do is that they are really trying to cater to pretty much every single Star Wars fan, and we have heard about this before, is that this movie is really going to gravitate toward all different mediums of the Star Wars franchise. I mean, you name it, like books, novels, comics, video games, parts of the movies from the past, obviously, TV, everything. So this movie does have a lot of things going for it. As far as Ezra Bridger goes, I really do want to go over one of the descriptions where he's next to Maz Kanata and one of the other pirates holding a blaster. Now, it's very possible that this character, this EB character, alright, the code name, is a part of Maz Kanata's crew and is actually helping her out on that big pirate ship that we've been hearing about for so very long now, that Maz Kanata will use in one of the major space battles and one of the land battles in episode 9. Honestly, guys, I'm very curious about who this really is. Is it Ezra Bridger, or is it somebody else entirely different? To me, I think that EB is a dead giveaway. That's obviously gotta be the initials of Ezra Bridger, in my opinion. Also, like I said, the mention of the long black wavy hair, as well as the blue eyes. It's gotta be, and him being in his mid-50s, another dead giveaway in my opinion. But anyways, guys, let me know what you think about all of this, about Ahsoka Tano and Ezra Bridger quite possibly being a part of Star Wars Episode 9. We've been hearing about this, I would say these past 2 months or so, about these two characters being a part of this story. And it's pretty unclear on whether or not they would be significant characters or just minor little cameos here and there in order for fans to actually point out and say, hey, you know, did you see that? We'll have to wait and see. But anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.